So in any relationship, and especially in a romantic relationship, space is very important. All of us as human beings tend to have a small boundary around us, wherein we do not let in people unless and until we give consent. Even if it is a very, very close relationship, we would prefer some space of our own where we don't let in other people without us wanting them to come in. Okay, so this boundary is important. Now, there can be various kinds of boundaries. Some people are extremely rigid about their boundaries. They don't let people in at all. Now, these boundaries can be very rigid, and when two people are involved in a relationship and one of them has such a rigid boundary, very rigid idea of space, and not wanting to let in the other person in ever, then that becomes a problem, because then the other person feels left out. The other person feels as if that kind of intimacy, that kind of romantic feeling is not there. The other kind of boundary is sometimes very porous. Anybody can come in, anybody can go. It's very enmeshed. There's a lot of dependency on each other. So both the partners in the relationship are all the time together, physically, in their infrastructure also, they're all the time together. They are doing most of their things together. They are working on the same issues, the same projects. They are probably having similar hobbies. That's a wonderful thing to happen, I'm sure. But then they hardly give each other much space in terms of their thought process, in terms of having other friends, in terms of even the emotions that they have. Everything is shared. Okay, so that is, I would say, a very porous or enmeshed boundary. A lot of dependence is there on each other. The third kind of boundary is probably a flexible boundary. We would say that that is a healthy boundary, wherein people in our life, especially in a romantic couple, for example, there is a good amount of time, good amount of sharing that happens, but there are some moments, some time in space as well as where emotions are concerned, which is your own time. Okay, so there are some boundaries which you cannot trespass, even though you are in a very, very close relationship. So there are some things that you may not want to share. There are some things, some people about whom you may not want to talk, or there are some hobbies that you would like to do by yourself. So these are flexible boundaries, and I would say that they are healthy boundaries.